All right, welcome everyone, and welcome to this second webinar in the series where I'm going to show you how you can make money with artificial intelligence, because that's what this group is all about, right? Making money. And so in the first episode, I showed you this diagram where it's pretty simple. You know, you have like basically three steps. One, you have to learn and master prompting. Number two, you have to innovate. Okay, this is where you have to create a product. And number three, you have to do the marketing. Now, the innovation and the marketing will actually go hand in hand. So I'm gonna draw this arrow, because you cannot innovate in a vacuum. You have to innovate a little bit, and you have to get feedback from your customers. And so you will refine your product, whether it's a video course, an ebook, or a web application. But I guess in the case of a novel, you can't do that. So when you write a novel, you have to have a pretty good idea of what kind of story you're going to create. For example, 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, I'm not crazy about the book, but I have to acknowledge her success. E.L. James. She created something that's very twisted. I didn't know that women like that kind of twisted erotica, but hey, that's what the market wants. So I think she got over like about 100 million readers. So her novel is a success. But for video courses, ebooks, and web applications, you can actually innovate. You can develop a prototype, and then you get feedback from the market, from different target markets, and then you go back to the drawing board. So today I'm gonna start more humbly, because although this is what I recommend, you see the straight line, I'm gonna put it in bold here. This is what I recommend. This is what you have to do. This is the most direct path to wealth. Okay, so here it's called the AI Money GPS, but I'm just gonna put how to get rich with AI, and that's really the point. I'm not interested really in just making a bit of money with AI. I'm interested in making it big, become a billionaire with AI. But so that's the path I recommend. But I understand that a lot of times people will, deviate. They will get distracted, and they will do other things. And so in this live stream, I just want to cover those different things that people are doing, and we can see if we can help them to go back to the right path. So one thing that people are doing, actually I'm going to draw different arrows. So let's say there are three different things that people are doing with AI that makes them money. So it's all good, right? Like, as long as you're making money, you're going in the right direction. And at the very least, you make more than $20 to cover your $20 monthly cost of using ChatGPT, or it could be $30 for Grok. So let's take a look at what people are doing to make money. So here, they could be learning how to do something and make money from their new their new skill. So for example, they could learn stock. Okay, I'm gonna just put options trading, and then they generate, I don't know, maybe some passive income or active income. But I'm just gonna put some income, because the passive income is not easy. Whoa. So let's say that they're generating some income. Like this. And so it's good, right? You're making some income because you learned something from ChatGPT or a large language model out there. And so it's all good. But a second way to make money, let's say you're a copywriter and you use artificial intelligence to generate the copy, So here you're an AI powered copywriter, and so you're just like doing the verification, the customer interaction, etc. But it's the AI that is generating like 80% of your copy. So you're an AI powered copywriter, freelance copywriter. Maybe a third way, you're not making money directly, but let's say you're using AI at work. So let's call it AI productivity. And this happened to me before. And so you're finishing your tasks sooner, and then you have free time, but you don't tell your boss, right? If you're saving 1 hour per day by using automation or AI systems, then you have 1 hour free time. But don't tell your boss, because if you tell your boss you save an hour, your boss is going to give you more work. So the smart thing to do is just to enjoy your free time. So here you get free time. You're not making money because your salary is fixed, but at least you're getting some free time. And so these are different ways to make money. Here you're learning something, and therefore you develop a new skill. Here you're not developing really a new skill. The AI is doing the work for you, and here you're getting free time. Okay, so let me just put it here. Here, free time from automation. And if you're using AI agents, it's even better for you to get free time. Here you're getting contracts from copywriting efficiency. And by efficiency, I mean that you can produce 5 or 10 times more copy because it's the AI that is generating the copy. So here you're making money from a new skill or new knowledge that you've acquired from prompting a large language model. So if we zoom out, we can see that let me just full screen. Whoa. If we zoom out, whoa, what is that? If we zoom out, we can see that sorry guys, I don't know how to okay, sorry. So if we zoom out, we can see that you have different ways to make money. It's just that you're not going about it in the most efficient way possible, which means that you're going upward right here. So you have these little arrows and you're making some money, but and like I said, it's fine. It's short term. It's the fastest way to make money because you might be very good at your job, you might be a very good copywriter, or you might be a fast learner and you have the foundational knowledge about investing. And so there are many ways to make money. So this is not bad at all. But I think that if you're looking for the long term, because these are really short term cash flow generation or cash generation, it's short term, it's not sustainable. Because here, you can have some free time from automating certain tasks in your job, but you're not going to make more money. Here, you're going to have maybe 5 times more clients, but still you're offering your time, right? Because you have to interface and interact with customers and get to know what they need, and then you turn around and the AI is generating copy for you, but you still have to talk to customers, and your time is limited. Okay, so it's not sustainable. Here, you can learn to invest, whether it's options trading or forex or other, kind of investing approaches. Like even, you can learn about real estate and buy a commercial building and learn how to rent out and make money. But there's a limit to how much money you can make, because here it's what I call the scarcity economy. And this is very important for people to understand. The scarcity economy is an economy where the value comes from scarcity. So value comes from scarcity. Now, this doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to make a lot of money, because even though the value comes from scarcity, like Bitcoin is a good example. There in the world there's like 125,000 Bitcoin millionaires, and so they became millionaires from the scarcity of Bitcoin. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can become rich by focusing and buying and securing scarce assets. That's a good way. That's the traditional way to make money. But there's a new way, and it comes from innovation. And this is where I talk about, and especially when we talk about digital products, this is where I talk about the abundance economy. Where there's no limit to how much money you can make. Here, there's a limit, right? Like even for Bitcoin, I do hold Bitcoin. So I got rich from Bitcoin. Well, not that rich, but so you can become rich with the scarcity economy. But when you look at the abundance economy, anyone can become rich, because if you don't have enough savings to invest in traditional asset classes, and I'm just going to put those asset classes here so that we have a good idea. Traditional asset classes, real estate, gold, currency, especially the U.S. currency. We have commodities, like wheat and all of that. We have futures contracts. We have stock, in publicly traded companies, even like private shares from private companies. So these are traditional asset classes. And the problem with these traditional asset classes is that the value comes from scarcity. So gold is valuable because it is scarce. U.S. currency is scarce, although they keep printing money all the time. Stock market, Nvidia stock, Tesla stock, it's valuable because it's scarce. They can't just print. Real estate also, it's scarce in certain areas. Private shares also in private companies. And so that's the old economy. But the problem, is that if you know how to play the game, the financial game, these games, for example, there's government bonds also. If you know how to play those games, you can become rich even from the scarcity economy. But what's interesting with the innovation economy or the abundance economy is that anyone can become rich, because you can create digital products like a web application, an ebook, a video course, etc. And if you can create a digital product, then it's not that hard to market those products, because you can actually recruit affiliates. You can recruit, digital marketers who will perform for you. But your product has to be very good. Okay, so this is your main job. Your product has to be very good. This is, it's so important. I'm going to put it here. Marketing is not your main job, okay? Because not anyone, but digital marketers out there, they're usually very good with digital marketing. They can market your products for you. So your main job is to create digital products. And I put products in plural because it's really not hard. Like, I can share with you my experience later on, but creating your first ebook is going to be quite a challenge. Same thing with your first video course. But after that, it's like you've learned how to ride a bike. You can hop on any bike and you're going to be able to do fine. Same thing with driving a car. So after you create your first digital product, it's really easy to create the second product, the third product, etc. But this is really your main job, okay? Now you have to take this seriously. A lot of people, including very smart people that I know, successful people, they haven't yet understood that this is a new game. It's not about learning how to invest and making a few $100s here and there. That's peanuts. What you want to do is go up the path here and create your digital products. And I'm going to set up a Zoom session where I'm going to brainstorm with you and give you ideas. But once you have a good idea for a ebook, a web app, or a video course, then you can easily create digital products by using large language models, okay? So you're not really creating these digital products, you're just creating the concept, and then you describe exactly the concept or the product, and the large language model will generate it for you. Okay, but your job is really to be responsible for the creation. You're actually not creating, you're just directing the creation of digital products. So let's be very precise. You're not creating by yourself, okay? Your job is to direct the creation of, can I say wanted, or the creation of, yeah, let's say valuable digital products. And what I mean by valuable is that it has to be valued by customers, because anyone can create a digital product, right? A teenager can create an ebook, but the question is it valuable enough for somebody to pay for it, right? So you have to create valuable, and that involves a lot of talking and interacting with customers and markets, and figure out like what is it that they would pay for. And then when you know that they would pay for a particular web app, a particular ebook, a particular video course, then you turn around and you generate the product through large language models. So don't start by creating these products until you have a good understanding of what is valuable. Okay. In the future live stream, I'm going to talk about how I'm reorganizing my college level courses, email marketing, project management, and online marketing research. I'm reorganizing it so that it becomes more valuable to people, because those college level courses might be valuable to students who pay to go to college, but most people, it's just overkill. They're not going to go to college. They prefer to have like learn email marketing from a video clip of 10 minutes and then a second video clip. So I have to reorganize so that my courses become valuable. Okay, this is really important. So guys, that's it. That's what you have to focus on. This is your focus for 2026 starting today. It's to figure out what digital product you should create and then get large language models to do it. Don't offer a service if you can. If you need money, sure, offer like a service like copywriting or website design or all of that. Or if you have a lot of knowledge about investing, you can learn different kinds of investing. Like if you used to be a value investor, you can learn options trading. Or if you're you can learn venture capital investing, you can become an angel investor. But this requires a significant financial knowledge about investing. This requires professional skills. You need to be a copywriter before you can get AI to do the copywriting, because otherwise how would you evaluate the copywriting that comes from AI, right? And here you need to have a job, of course, and of course within your job there has to be tasks that you can automate. But you can look at these three arrows, and these are just three examples. They're going up, so you're making money. It's not a bad deal. But my contention is that if you want to become rich, and you're not going to become rich with these arrows, okay? You're not going to become rich with options trading. You're not going to become rich with copywriting or with with a job. You're going to become rich when you go upward and you create a digital product. Now, in a future live stream, I'm going to talk about what are the steps for creating an app, and the steps for an ebook are different. The steps for a video course are different. So there's probably 20 or 30 different information products or digital products that you can create. But this, trust me, friends, this is the way, this is the path. And once you have a digital product, and I have tons of them, and I'm selling them all you have to do is just do the marketing, which is easier. So I'm going to put this in big letters, because I want people to understand that this is the main challenge. Okay, the main challenge is not prompting. There are tons of resources on how to prompt effectively, but there's not a lot of resources on how you can innovate. In other words, how you can create information products that people actually want and they're willing to pay for. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it's been useful, but I'm very optimistic that eventually, at some point, people will stop doing these activities, because it's not for the long term. You can do them in the short term, you can have fun, but keep in mind that if you are focused on doing these little services or these little additional income from options trading or something similar in financial markets, every time that you spend time here, you're not spending time doing what is really important, which is to create digital products. Now, of course, I have to hold on. Let me just get my tea here. Now I have to be flexible and not be so dogmatic. So let me take the point of view of people who have never created a digital product in their lives. They're gonna tell me, well, Peter, I've never done this. I've never created a product in my whole life. I don't know anyone in my family or among my friends who has ever created a video product. So they might say, Peter, I find it easier to do this. It's within my area or circle of competence. And I would say, yes, you should do that. If it's easy for you to do that, like if you can automate tasks and you save 1 hour, if you can get more clients as a copywriter, as an independent professional consultant, coach, if you can generate additional money from your current portfolio, like you can create options to sell like Bitcoin ETF covered calls. I don't know anything about it, but apparently you can do that. You can generate, maybe 12 or 15% per year at no risk or very low risk. Sure, if it's easy for you to do, you should definitely do that. But here's what I want to impart upon you, and I think I need a new diagram to really show you, because I think visually is really important. So let me just erase this. So what's happening here is that and this is normal, people will always gravitate towards what is easy, right? So if you have option A, you make a bit of effort and then on this side you make you make a bit of effort and whoops, sorry guys, I keep choosing, whoa, holy crap, what is that? Sorry, I got lost a little bit. Yeah, so let's draw a diagram to really see the difference between this path and the path that I recommended, where you're going straight up and you're creating digital products. So this path over here, I understand how people feel, because they can make a little bit of effort, so it's like going up the mountain, and on the other side of the mountain they're making some money. And so this is obvious, right? You learn about options trading, you make some money, which is great, congratulations. Or you use AI to do your copywriting and you're charging clients for it. So the AI is like your copywriting employee, or you automate tasks at work and you free time. But what I'm recommending over here is more like you have to make a little bit more effort, not that much, right? Because like I said, you're not creating the new digital products, you're instructing ChatGPT to create those products for you. Like this morning I generated like a couple of ebooks from ChatGPT and Notebook LM from Google. And so I had to make a little bit of effort. So you can see here the height of the mountain is much higher than the height of the little mountain here, right? But if you make just a little bit more effort, you're going to be looking at a perpetual cash flow, in a sense that you're going to be making money for as long as your products are viable. Like if you write an ebook and the value of your ebook remains constant over time, it's not becoming obsolete, then you're going to make money for the next few years. Same thing with a video course. And so you're making, this is like perpetual cash flow. But when you're focusing here on creating a service or generating some additional income from investing, you're making just a bit of money, which is still good, by the way, but that's not where I recommend people to be. Because you just make a little bit of effort. You don't have to learn anything about digital products, but the penalty is that you're not going to be able to make that much money. So that's my point. I'm not saying at all that what people are doing here is not good. It's good, but it's suboptimal. Suboptimal meaning that the optimal path is over here. It's where, you know, you make a little bit more effort, but again, remember, ChatGPT is there to help you. You make a little bit of effort, but you're making so much money. So much money. So anyways, guys, that's what I want to share with you. If you have questions, please don't forget to put them in the comments, and I'll talk to you more in the next episode, episode 3.